Guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another closer look at a music artist today. Today we're going to be looking at some of me John Lennon collection, because I absolutely adore the Beatles and the artist's work post Beatles, especially. Well, I can't say especially John Lennon because I love most of them, to be honest. I do love Paul McCartney's solo work and his work with Wings, and I love George Harrison's solo stuff. Not overly familiar with the Ringo Starr one, but it's something I'm looking at rectifying at some point. But I love John Lennon. Now, I do have a couple of box sets of his. Now, I did do an unboxing last year, October, of the Power to the People box set, which came out, which was a celebration of his one-to-one concerts, which I also believe there's a movie of that coming out this year. So hopefully that will get a Blu-ray or a 4K release at some point. But yeah, I've already looked at that, so we're not going to look at that today. We're going to be looking at two other boxes of his. We're going to be looking at his signature box, which is this one, which is a mighty huge box, and it does have John Lennon embossed there onto the side, which you can just about make out his sort of signature embossed on there. So we're going to be looking at that set, and then we're going to be looking at his anthology set. Bit like the Beatles anthology. This is a John Lennon one, and I wish they would do one with George Harrison and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, have their own sort of anthologies. So these are all going to be built up from sessions and unreleased tracks from his solo works and stuff like that, and live recordings. So very, very cool. So we've got two sets to get through, so there's a lot to get through. So let's not waste any time. Let's have a deep down look at John Lennon. So here we are, guys. Here is a closer look at my John Lennon collections. So I think we'll look at the main box set. We'll put this one aside. So this is just simply called Lennon. It's actually called the signature box, simply because it's embossed there with John Lennon's sort of signature. It's a really nice box set. It contains his studio recordings, which is really cool. So we open the box, the lid comes off like this. A nice hard back box, really nice quality box. The box starts off with a message from Yoko Ono, a message from Julian Lennon, and a message from Sean Lennon. So it starts off with a message from each and about the stories of the albums and their memories of their dad. And on the reverse, it does state to give peace a chance, which is a lesson we could all learn, really. Certain people can anyway, that we know. Anyway, it's got some lovely messages in there. We'll pop that in there. And it comes with a book, a hardback book, which we will look at. And we have the albums in this kind of sponged, secured kind of unit there. But also on the box, if we can turn it over, we have a drawings there from John Lennon, copied onto there, his signature. There's John, there's Yoko, and if you turn it around, we have another one there, really nice. And just at the bottom here, there's like a little compartment that opens out, and in here there's nothing much really in here. There's a card, which is an online card, which is a code to download the music digitally. So you got that code, and it comes with just a little, like, I thought it was a book, but it's not. It's just pretty much just like a printed picture of John Lennon's in here, which is, you can take it out, but it's just like a drawing of John's. It says family tree, picture of John and Yoko there. It's just like a flimsy bit of paper with a hard back, sort of in a hardback case, just to protect it. Like I said, you can take it out, but I don't want to, because I like it in there. So that's what comes in that little secret area, which is quite nice. Personally, I would have put a little disc in there of like a couple of unreleased tracks just for like a little surprise, but that's what they've done. Anyway, that lives in the bottom there, and in here we have the entire back catalogue of albums. So we'll go through these one by one. I think that's the best way to do it. Let's take these away. Take the first album out, pop it there, and what I'll do, I'll bring this down slightly. There we go. And then we'll go through his solo albums here. Alright, so this is his debut solo album, which is called John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. This is a digitally remastered. These are all 2010, I believe. Digitally remastered from John's original audio mix. Really nice, and they've all got this sort of design, a bit like the Beatles had their own design on their ones. The track listings on this album is Mother, Hold On, I Found Out, Working Class Hero, Isolation, Remember, Love, Well, 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 Look at Me, God, and My Mummy's Dead. And it opens out with a picture of John and Yoko there on the rooftop. I'm not sure if that's the Apple Studios or Abbey Road. I'm not sure where that picture was taken. Here's the CD, which is on the EMI label. It replicates the cover of the album, and they also come with their own album booklets, which again is really nice because it gives you like a story of the album, some rare photographs of John and Yoko there, some really lovely sort of like information. It comes with the lyrics of the songs. Really nice, and there's a sort of different sort of picture on the reverse of the book. So that is his first solo album. Very cool. We'll pop that there. His next album was Imagine. And again, this is a digitally remastered again from the same series. This is Imagine. It contains the tracks Imagine, Crippled Inside, Jealous Guy, It's So Hard, I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, Mama, I Don't Want to Die, Give Me Some Truth, Oh My Love, How Do You Sleep, How, and Oh Yoko. So that's the tracks on this album. Opens out with an image there from the promo video of Imagine, of John and Yoko. Again, the album comes with a replica of that I think was that the reverse. Yes, that was the reverse cover. So it comes with a breakdown of that. Really nice. And it also comes with the booklet. What year was this? Was this 1971? I'm not sure the year of this album, but I'm sure it's about 71. I'm sure. But yeah, some wonderful pictures of John and Yoko there. There's a lot of dates in here saying 71, so I think this was 1971, this album. So I think the other one would be 1970. And again, we're treated with lyrics and a breakdown of the musicians that appeared on the album, which is really cool. And there's a picture of John in session there on the back there. So that was his second solo album, called Imagine. These might not be in order, I hope they are. Next up is, I'm sure this wasn't the third album. I don't think this one was the right album here. I can't remember. But anyway, here is his album Mind Games. Very cool. It might be the right order. I'm not very good with these sort of knowing this sort of information. There's the disc. I'll go through the track listing. The track listing on this is Mind Games, Tight A3, I'm sorry, One Day at a Time, Bring on the Lucy, Neopian International Anthem, Intuition, Out of the Blue, Only People, I Know, You Are Here, and Meat City. And once again, that does open out to a picture of them. Looks like probably New York or somewhere like that, a harbour. And it does have a booklet in here. It's 1973, so it could be the right album, the third album. Again, lyrics and a bit of information about the album, and the wonderful picture there at the back of the pair. Really cool. I actually quite like Mind Games, quite a good album. I like all of his albums, if I'm being honest. Let me just turn these around, guys, so when I put them away, they're going to be in the order I've got them out. Next one is the live album, Sometime in New York City, which I believe is a live album. And it also includes a restored live jam CD, which is a part of the other box set that we went through. So yeah, this is really cool. It's printed out like a newspaper, and it folds out with pictures there. And obviously, this is from when we did the Power to the People. This is the sort of album that was kind of all based upon. This does come in a 2-disc set. Your track 1, Sometime in New York City, is Woman in the End of the World, Sister Oh Sister, Attica State, Born in a Prison, New York City, Sunday Bloody Sunday, The Luck of the Irish, John Sinclair, Angela, and We're All Fine. The Woman of the N-Word song has been taken out of the Power to the People box, which is a bit of a shame, really. I understand why they've done it, but there we are. And the live jam has Cold Turkey, Don't Worry, Kyoko, and Well, and Jam Rag, and Scumbag, and AU. So it's a 6-track, but they are quite long. And it does come with a booklet, which is in the middle section here. And it goes through the members there of the band. This was recorded in 1972, so I think this was actually before Mind Games. I'm sure it was. I'm sure he did this one in Mind Games. So I think I've got them in the wrong order, the boxes, just because I've been listening to them. So it's like I don't put them back in the right order. I do try, but I get quite confused. So I'm going to pop that there under Mind Games, because I think that's that album. The next album in the set is Walls and Bridges. Very artistic and sort of different sort of cover from John. These are John Lennon, June 1952, age 11, this drawing here. John obviously liked drawing. Bizarre cover, as you can see. The track listings are Going Down on Love, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Old Dirt Road, What You Got, Bless You, Sacred or Scarred, Number 9 Dream, Surprise Surprise, Sweet Bird of Paradox, Still and Glass, Beef Jerky, Nobody Loves You, When You're Down and Out, and Yeah Yeah. And again, it opens up. They all open up the gatefold. It looks wonderful there. Wonderful picture of John there. This is a single disc album. Really nice disc. Really nice album. I like it. There's not a John Lennon album I don't really like, really. Maybe ones, and not all one I listen to very much. But yeah, this is 1974, so I think we're in the right order now. He was knocking out an album at a year at this rate, wasn't he? It's like he's with Elton John there. Wonderful drawing there. Look at that, John Lennon, age 11. How cool. They should have done a book. It looks like a mail from Sparks. Drawing the football. See, I think he's quite a talented little artist. I'd have his artwork on my wall if I had it. It'd be worth a fortune, wouldn't it? So yeah, there we have Walls and Bridges. Another great album. Next album up is Rock and Roll. It's Young there on this album cover, which I believe it is a whole album of just pure rock and roll cover versions. There is a couple of big songs in here, but we have Bebop Balula, Stand By Me, Rip It Up, Ready Teddy, You Can't Catch Me, Ain't That a Shame, Do You Wanna Dance, Sweet Little 16, Slippin' and Sliding, Peggy Sue, Bring It On Home to Me, Send Me Some Lovin', Bonnie Maroney, Ya Ya, and Just Because. So it's pretty much mostly cover versions of his love of rock and roll. Very, very cool. Him doing some songs. You've got songs by Gene Vincent, Percy Sledge. There's all different sort of people, songs that he's covered in this album, including Buddy Holly. Very, very cool. Him and Ringo were huge rock and roll fans, I think. Here's the booklet. There's a really young picture of John there. I'm not sure if these recordings were done like prior to a lot of his other stuff. It's just stuff that they found. I'm not quite sure, but this album was a 1975 album, I believe. It was always one of those albums that was in the nice price, sort of cheap albums, like the compilation album he had out called Shaved Fish. You could always find that in the cheap sections in record shops back in the day. But yeah, I quite like the album. It's a fun listen. It's not one I go to very often, but it's good fun listen. So yeah, so that's Rock and Roll. Next up is Double Fantasy. I have that in here twice, simply because I bought a different version of it, because I wanted this one as well, because it got 2 discs on this one. So this is my own one that I've added to the set. This is the original set one. Lovely picture of the guy there. This is about 1980, because there's a bit of a gap with John Lennon in releasing albums, and this came out about 1980, I believe. I think it was about 5 years, and then he came out with this album, Double Fantasy, which was quite popular. It has the songs Just Like Starting Over, Kiss Kiss Kiss, Clean Up Time, Give Me Something, I'm Losing You, I'm Moving On, Beautiful Boy, Darling Boy, Watching the Wheels, Yes I'm an Angel, Woman, Beautiful Boys, Dear Yoko, Every Man Has a Woman Who Loves Him, and Hard Times Are Over. It is a good album. I do like it. The sort of follow-up album I wasn't overly keen on. It's probably my least favourite Lennon album, but I did like this one. I thought it was a really cool album. There they are. Looks like they're in Central Park or whatever it is there in New York. He was living in New York at this time. It's not long before, unfortunately, he was murdered. So you go, it's 5 years since 1975, John Lennon's last album, so it's a 5-year gap. Some wonderful pictures there though. They were just soulmates, weren't they? Just soulmates. They were just so lucky to have met each other. I think Yoko was married before she met John, but then they were just soulmates, and their life just changed together, didn't it? Wonderful. Let me go through the lyrics on the albums. And there's a picture of them there, I'll see somewhere in New York. Lovely. So it's a really cool. And like I said, I do have a different version of the album, which I stuck in the box because it fits. And it's a Double Fantasy Grammy of the Year 1980, newly remixed and stripped down version. Plus John Lennon's original audio mix. So this is John Lennon's audio mix, but this one also has a stripped down version of the album in there. So this is a 2 CD set with different artwork. We have a CD in here. That's the Double Fantasy, the same that's in that one. And in here we should have the Double Fantasy strip. This is the original album, so that's the original album. I'm just trying to see if the track listings at all been replaced. This is the stripped down one. No, it's exactly the same. It's the same track listing as the other album. It's just a stripped down. They've taken out all the elements of there and made it sound different, and it does, and it sounds amazing. Really cool. And there is also another booklet in this one. I wish these come out the top. Again, it sort of replicates the other booklet, as you can see. They've got the same writings. They've just adjusted some of the pictures in here just to make it a little bit more different there. So it's exactly the sort of same, but it's just nice to have both because of like that different album. Yes, I could probably just have this one in my set and move this one on, but I like the picture on that, and it's just great to have them both in there. So that was Double Fantasy. So probably my least favourite Lennon album in there is this one, Milk and Honey. But it's okay, but it's probably my least favourite. It's the one I go to least. It has the tracks I'm Stepping Out, Sleepless Night, I Don't Want to Face It, Don't Be Scared, Nobody Told Me, Oh Sanity, Borrowed Time, Your Hands, Forgive Me My Little Princess, Let Me Count the Ways, and Grow Old With Me, You're the One. And there's a naughty picture of them both there, naked. And here's a CD. Looks like they're having breakfast outside in the garden. And here's the booklet. I'm sure this album came out with songs just made up that were left over, I think, from Double Fantasy. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's what would have happened with this, because it's very similar in the way it's sort of built, and the cover is not too dissimilar, is it? You know, so it's I think it was just sort of almost stuff that was left over, so they made a whole second album, which they could have just put Double Fantasy out as a double, I suppose, but there we go. This is what they've done. Oh, yeah, it's so tight, but there we go. That's that. And there's one more album in this set, and it's called Singles. Disc 1, you have Power to the People, Happy Christmas, War is Over, Instant Karma, Cold Turkey, I'm Over It now. I think it says I'm Over It L. Can't remember. Can't read it very well. And give Peace a Chance. And on this one is the home tapes. So these are studio outtakes of Mother, Love, God, I Found It, Nobody Told Me, Honey Don't, which would have been on rock and roll, One of the Boys, Indie, Serve You Well, Isolation, Remember, Beautiful Day, and I Don't Want to Be a Soldier. So it's just like studio demos, and it's got like this sort of coloration around there, which I always thought was a bit odd, made it look like it was old, but I suppose that's what they were aiming for. And these are on sort of almost like blank CDs, just like with a little writing on the outside. So yeah, this is a 2-disc set, which is the last disc in that box set. So we'll pop these CDs away again. Hopefully now they're all in the right order. I'll bring the book forward and we'll have a quick look through the book. Sorry this is a long video, guys, but you know, it's John Lennon. What can we do? I'll put these away. You see, because that other album that I added in there, it does fit in there perfectly. See, it's very cool. So we'll have a quick look at the book. Yes. It's a hardback sort of mini book, which is quite nice. The Life and Afterlife by Anthony de Curtis. So we have here an essay by this gentleman there. A picture there of the poster that I have in the box set of Power to the People. That was the famous photo and film shot of them both in bed in New York. There's a drawing of that. Bed in for peace. Yeah, I think it was a protest that they were doing for peace, for, you know, against wars and things like this. They just, and you know, it like when I listen to songs like Imagine, I just think that should be a world national anthem. Everyone should listen to it. Everyone should listen to it before they decide to start a war. Great picture of John there. So we've got essays in here. We have pictures there. That's John from the movie he was in, How I Won the War, which was a 1980s, I think, film. Sure it was. There's Yoko and John in Record Plant, New York City, 1972. Another sketch there from John. I love his doodles. I think his doodles are magnificent. There they are there. It's John and Yoko in Egypt. So there's a lot of information in here, which is really nice. Stepping Out, we've got some handwritten lyrics there. I thought John rehearsing there in the studio, 1974, which would have been the Mind Games period, I believe. Here they are performing on Top of the Pops in 1970, performing Instant Karma. Look at Yoko with a blindfold on. Posters there. There's a lot going on here. A lot of information. It's not all just pictures. There's quite a lot of nice text, which is really good. Famous picture there of John Lennon, because that was, I think that was taken by Andy Warhol. Lennon by Warhol, yeah. So there we are. Andy Warhol took that picture of John Lennon. Some more etchings and lyrics. Some Milk and Honey. And then we have a celebration of John's 70th birthday. Yoko Ono presents Give Me the Truth, Art and Music. So that's all the production teams over the booklet and obviously the CDs. And that is very true. War is over if you want it. Very cool. and that's the booklet. So it's not a massive book, but it's really, really cool. So we'll bring that back in, and we will pop that in there with the messages from the family. Whoops, sorry guys. And we'll return our lid to the box. And that's that box. Really, really cool. So we're going to have a quick bundle through the anthology box now, which is another nice box. There's another slip off lid, really cool, and it does have a set of 5 CDs in there. No, 4 CDs and a book. Really nice set. It's got again a picture of John there from the Imagine sessions, and some handwritten lyrics there, but from Beautiful Boy from John. Really cool. And the outer box has a cloud with doodles from John. It's very old. I bought this box, guys, on release. And I can't remember when it was. I'm sure it might have been the 90s when this came out. Let's have a look. 1998. Yes, I've had this since 1998. So we'll start with CD1, and we'll work our way quickly through these ones. So these are all sessions from taken from unreleased tracks from his albums from the session box. So we have Ascot CD1, A Family Tree, which, if you remember, that picture is in the signature box. We have a little quote there and some pictures of John there, and that's their house there, which they did the Imagine there from. The tracks on this album are Working Class Hero, God, I Found You, Hold On, Isolation, Love, Mother, Remember, Imagine, Take One, Fortunately, Baby Please Don't Go, Oh My Love, Jealous Guy, Maggie May, How Do You Sleep, God Save You, Do the Oz, I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, Give Peace a Chance, Look at Me, and Long Lost John. And it runs for 65 minutes. And it's an amazing album. Ascot is an amazing album. I love that album. Really cool. So we're going to disc 2, which is called New York City, CD2. Again, opens up with a quote and pictures from the time. John in his famous sort of combat shirt. I think that's probably their apartment they maybe were living in at the time. The track listing on here is New York City, Attica State, Live, Imagine, Live, Bring On Lucy, Woman from the End of the World, Giradaro Riviera 1-to-1 concert, Women to the End of the World Live, It's So Hard Live, Come Together Live, Happy Christmas, Luck of the Irish Live, John Sinclair Live, The David Frost Show, Mind Games, I Promise, Mind Games Make Love Not War, One at a Time, I Know, I'm the Greatest, Good Night Vienna, Jerry Lewis Telephone, A Kiss Is Just a Kiss, Real Love, You Are Here. I love You Are Here. It's a great track. And that it runs for 65 minutes. So another great album, New York City, really cool. So that's around the New York City and Mind Games time. So disc 3 is The Lost Weekend, another great album with a great doodle from John on the front. Image of John there with some quotes, and the tracks on this one is What You Got, Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Home, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Studio, Yesterday, Bebop Balula, Rip It Up, Ready Teddy, Scared, Still and Glass, Surprise Surprise, Sweet Bird of Paradox, Bless You, Going Down on Love, Move Over Miss I, Ain't She Sweet, Slippin' and Sliding, Peggy Sue, Bring It On Home, Send Me Some Loving, Phil and John 1, Phil and John 2, Phil and John 3, When in Doubt, Fuck It, Be My Baby, Stranger's Room, and Old Dirt Road. That runs for 62 minutes. It's quite a bit of spoken word in this one, but that's really interesting and cool. I do like it. Not as good as the first two albums, but it is really cool. And the last album in the set is Dakota, which is obviously hitting John's 1980, and there's the front door to his home, his flat in New York, where he was murdered outside there, pretty much, and he was shot, I believe. This one has I'm Losing You, Sean's Little Help, Serve Yourself, My Life, Nobody Told Me, Life Begins at 40, I Don't Want to Face It, Woman, Dear Yoko, Watching the Wheels, I'm Stepping Out, Borrowed Time, the Rishi Kishi song, Sean's Loud, Beautiful Boy, My Hide's Going, Only You, Grow Old With Me, and Dear John. And it's got something Mayor, The Great Walk, Mucho Mongo, Satire 1, 2 and 3, Sean in the Sky, It's Real, and that runs for 73 minutes. Another great doodle, yeah. So this is around the 80s period. And the set does come with a booklet, which is in here, which is set out almost like the CD set. And here's the book. We'll have a flick through this. We won't spend too long on it. Goes through an introduction by Yoko Ono. This box set, I believe, was put together by her, if I remember right. And she just breaks down each sort of disc. Ascot, New York City, telling her work on getting these recordings together. So yeah, I do believe this was sort of compiled and produced by Yoko Ono. Once Upon a Time, John Lennon. And then we come into people's essays and things about the actual album. An Apple Pie Bed. Some handwritten lyrics from John there. More essays. Wonderful booklet. I love heavy text booklets because it just means you've got something to it. And then we've got all the lyrics of the tracks, the songs that are in each album. Which pretty much then takes up the end of the book, as you can see. And there's just a breakdown there of the production of this album. So we'll pop the book away. It sits nicely in there. And that sits nicely within the box. They've got their own little areas, which is quite nice. And the lid sits on top, very nice. So there we go, guys. That is a very close look at some of my John Lennon collection. And no, I'm not apologising. It's a long video. Yeah, I am. Sorry, guys. It's a long video, but it is what it is. This is a closer look at John Lennon's career. I mean, we've had a look at his entire studio albums that were released, including a rough mix of one of them, and a look at the album, the double album with the singles that are in there. Really cool. And then we had a close look at his anthology set, which is similar to the Beatles anthology, where that plays out of certain unreleased tracks and sessions from these wonderful, wonderful artists. So really cool. Absolutely love John Lennon. I think he's absolutely incredible. Big loss to the world when he was stolen from us by the murderer, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it. Who are these sets aimed at? If you're new to Lennon, I would go with the anthology, just because I think you get to see him as a human being, not just as an artist like you do in the Lennon box set. But if you're going to just start with a single album, I would go with the Plasticono Band, his first debut. I think it's an amazing album. It's incredible. Then I would go with Imagine, and then probably Double Fantasy, and then go into some of the other albums like Mind Games and Walls and Bridges. But I would personally start with the Anthology album, because just like the Beatles, I would always recommend starting with the Anthology album, just because I think you get to see the artist as an artist, not as a produced item. It's more, this is what they do, and I like that. I would love a Paul McCartney anthology. I don't know if there is one. If there is, someone let me know down below. But I would love that. That's really cool. Anyway, I've rabbited on enough. Thank you so much for coming in. I will do some more music videos coming up. I've got a pickup coming, a box set which I'm really excited about getting from an artist that you probably think, wow, Joff, I didn't even know you like that sort of thing. Yeah, believe me, you think, wow, okay, that's so different to what you always like. Yes, it is. But the beauty of music is to like a bit of everything and appreciate something that not necessarily your go-to music, but it still can be incredible. Because I've got a box set from an artist that I really adore and appreciate that you will be a bit surprised with. Anyway, massive shout out to my lad. See you soon, guys.